YouTube, we meet again. Hello, how are we doing today? Welcome to Mind Leak, first official review. My name is Zach. Today, we're going to be talking about a very special album or a couple projects that have come out by Frank Ocean, who has been MIA for the past 4 years. Maybe give a little background of how I discovered Frank Ocean. It all started when I found Tyler, the Creator, from the hip-hop collective Odd Future. That's how I kind of came into contact with Frank. Like, I found out, about him as an artist. And so the first mixtape or project I ever heard from him was called the Lonnie Bra Collection. It had about 64 songs on it. If you haven't heard it, it's online. You can probably download it. Yeah, so him being from Odd Future, I thought he was just like a rapper who did some crazy shit, kind of like Tyler. But I listened to him and I was completely caught off guard because he had some really good songs. He has these poppy R&B kind of songs. And this was way back at Lonnie Bra. And then Channel Orange was released, and that I really liked. I really liked that album for its uniqueness. Channel Orange made me so much more into Frank Ocean. I was definitely waiting for more, and this review is kind of interesting to me. So he releases Endless, which is this visual album. He kind of put on his live stream of him creating a staircase. Now, I'll share a little bit about what I think the significance of that is. He's building something. He's building a staircase, and he was working on this live stream, I don't know, for a month, right? So you just see him creating and coming up with the staircase, right? And you find out, he's trying to say that, craftsmanship, we'll try again. Craftsmanship. Okay, craftsmanship takes a while, building a staircase, building anything is going to take a little time. So I know it's easy for people to think it's so simple to come out with an album just because, it's songs, they don't take that long to make. It's just a beat and you sing over it, you rap over it, you're done. Well, Frank is trying to convey that artistry and creating songs doesn't, come that easy, and it takes a little bit of growth in order to do so. So when he released Endless, I just sat down, watched it, listened to it, and I thought it was really great. It made me super excited for his next upcoming album, which I thought at the time was going to be called Boys Don't Cry, and he hits us with this blonde thing, right? Endless was a great introduction, I guess. It was so ambient, and it was so just full of vibes and color, and you really hear Frank Ocean come through with this. He sounds a lot more mature, he sounds a lot more grown, he sounds a lot more self-reflecting, I guess, and I think he's kind of found his style in this sense. Let's get into the Blonde review. I listened to Blonde the first time I was heading to work, and I just put it on in the car, and I wasn't feeling it at the time. Even Nikes, I was just like, what's with this high voice? What's going on here, Frank? So again, I just maybe I shouldn't listen to this in a car. Maybe I should put on a pair of headphones, just chill and listen to it in here. And that, I recommend you guys do that, because if you're listening to it on speakers or anything, you're not gonna get the full experience. With the headphones, you really hear Frank and you hear the song in its entirety, and it's a lot more compelling. So we'll start with Nikes. I got my notes up here, so I'm gonna be looking up here, okay?
I'm not professional. I don't memorize this stuff. So
Nikes, I found the high voice to be a little bit redundant, a little bit annoying, but I really like the production on this one. And Nikes come through with these beautiful lyrics, and he's kind of just saying RIP Trayvon, he looks just like me. That's kind of pretty powerful. I would have liked to hear him say that in his actual singing voice. That probably would have been more powerful of a message. But Frank is a powerful songwriter. He has ghostwritten for Beyonce, for Justin Bieber, I believe. And so he's more of a songwriter than he is a singer, but he is a talented singer as well. And then we come into the next song, Ivy. which I thought the production was great. This one, Frank really went in with the singing, and again, when I listened to this song in the car, I was just like, "What is this? Like, this isn't Channel Orange. Like, this is so different of a style." But the song was kind of like not changing up at all. The beat kind of stayed consistent, so even in headphones, it still was a little bit redundant. And then we get to Pink and White, which I really like that song. It is super smooth and full of vibes. I like to say full of vibes. I don't know why. It's just like, it feels good to listen to that song. Like, we have this skit, Be Yourself, which features Frank's mom, and it should be pretty familiar to you if you listen to Channel Orange, because she's just in the one song, It's Not Just Money. She's just telling him, like, there's a difference between having money for this, having money for that. And so in this one, she's also giving him advice again, saying, hey, in college, people tend to develop drug habits. I don't want you to do marijuana. I don't want you to drink alcohol. I don't want you to get into other drugs. I don't want you in a car with someone. You know, your typical parent advice. This skit is pretty important, actually, because it comes in usefully later when he's talking about how he kind of didn't listen to her. So then we come in with Solo. This is when Frank actually starts showcasing some rap skills. I was pretty much feeling the song throughout the whole thing. And then Skyline 2 is next with Tyler, the Creator. I think produced it. Now, automatically being a Tyler, the Creator fan, I enjoyed the chord progression on this song. I don't know what notes those are, but it kept me pretty enticed. And apparently Kendrick Lamar's in the song. I was on Rap Genius as I was listening to this album. Somehow, I think Kendrick's in the song. He's like, I think, re-uttering the words Frank is singing. Then we get into Self-Control, which is a very ambient song, and kind of returns with the high voice Frank has. And at this moment, I'm just like, okay, I'm getting used to the high voice. It seems like it's playing some sort of role in the album. Maybe it's supposed to represent an angel or something like that. Something I feel like Frank is conveying. Then we get into Good Guy, which is a short, like, I think a minute and a half song. And I don't know how to explain this song. His voice sounds like it's kind of muddled down. I'm not sure. But, I don't know. I guess it's a little bit of an interlude. So in Nights, basically at the end, the beat switches up to this like punchy production, and then Frank is saying like, oh, and after Trina hit, I had to switch campuses, because Frank Ocean started out in New Orleans. That's where he grew up. And then we get into Solo Reprise, which is an amazing verse with Andre 3000. Like, I have yet to hear a feature with Andre 3000 that has like upset me or like made me disappointed. Like, he's just a great rapper, great singer, all that stuff. He was in Channel Orange. He was in Pink Matter, and he had a great verse in that too. But this one just completely decimates that Pink Matter verse. So I thought that was great. He was talking about how Andre was talking about how he was coming to terms with people like not writing their own verses, like people in the music industry not even creating their own music. So that's pretty powerful, and as like music writer myself, like I see that as like, wow, like people really don't write their own music. That's insane. And then we get into Pretty Sweet, which is like another ambient song. Dug that one. Facebook Story, which is I don't really get the point of that. It's just this French guy just being like, she wanted me to accept her on Facebook, and I didn't accept her on Facebook, and so she thought I was cheating on her, and she broke it off. I don't know. Maybe he's trying to convey that, you know, love's really like gone onto the internet, and I guess internet connections are even more important than human interaction these days. And I guess Frank's just trying to accept the changing times. Close to You is following up the Facebook Story, which is another short song, good production. Overall, this album, like, I haven't really complained about any of the production. White Ferrari comes up, and it sounds like it's a love song about his car, and kind of like a double entendre. So he's like singing about his car, but it's also, you can relate it to a person, perhaps a lover he's had before. It could be the lover he was talking about that he had when he like posted the blog article that he was like gay, right? So that would make the most sense to me. And then my favorite song on that album comes up next, Siegfried. It's just a very introspective song. Frank goes really personal. If you look up the lyrics and just do your little research, you're gonna see a lot of like Frank revealing himself. And he just sings super well. Like, I love my favorite songs on the album are when Frank just belts. Like, he brings out all of his volume and his voice is just going. Like, most of the songs you don't really get to see that, but it's kind of like, I just think of it, you know, if he did that all the time, maybe I would get tired of it. So he's kind of just like reserving himself, and then some songs he'll just belt them. Because like, that's why I liked Endless, because Endless was just a bunch of Frank singing really hard and a lot of great instrumentation. So, and then we have Godspeed, which is kind of Frank giving advice to people from when he was a teenager. I guess people who aren't feeling like they belong. And then we get to the last track, which is like 9 minutes, 9.5 minutes. And it's just Frank talking about when he made less than minimum wage and not having a job. And he mentions Selena and Tupac. I'm not like scouring the earth trying to, you know, translate his lyrics and find meanings behind them, but again, just the feeling of the song, it was great. There was an interview at the end, so Frank's younger brother was interviewing him when he was younger, and it's a nice little clip. Pretty muddled though, didn't really understand much of it. Overall, I tried a lot of times to try and like just compare this album to Channel Orange, because I really like Channel Orange. I gave like Channel Orange an 8 out of 10, right? Way back, like, because I would just like judge songs on my own and give them my own rating. So Channel Orange was like an 8 out of 10 to me, and I was trying to see like, hey, is this album better than Channel Orange? Is it not better than Channel Orange? And I just came to the conclusion it's like not even fair to try and do that, because it's been 4 years. I mean, maybe if it was a year apart it'd be fair to judge, because like that's not much time, but like 4 years, Frank has grown, he's matured, his taste in music has probably changed, his style has probably changed. I don't think it would be fair to just try and compare this to Channel Orange. If it was better, give it a 9. If it was worse, give it like a 6 or a 7. So I just did what I said I was going to do in my intro video. I gave a score to each and every individual song based on how they connected, except the skits. The small skits I didn't give any scores to, and so I averaged it out, and sure enough, I ended up with an 8 out of 10. So I think I'm gonna stick with that, just on the basis that like Channel Orange was great in its time, and Blonde is great in this time, and in Frank's age, like, you know, I wouldn't expect something like Channel Orange again. In Channel Orange, we got less of Frank and more catchy beats that got us, you know, vibing all the time. And in this one, we get more Frank, less catchiness, less pop, kind of, even though when you look this album up on Apple Music, it's under pop for the genre, but it's less poppy to me. But you get a lot more Frank, you get a lot more of his personal life. So what did you guys think of the album? Did you guys like it? Did you like it more than Channel Orange, less than Channel Orange? If you actually really want to compare it, we can go ahead and do that. Just go ahead and comment what you felt about it. Anything I missed, maybe anything I overlooked, anything I got wrong, just let me know. Tune in. Maybe next week I'll post another review for Mind Leak. But until then, take care.